Hello, everyone, and welcome to Season 1, Episode 5 of Scrollers Chat. Tonight we're going to be discussing pattern design and software. On our panel, we have Mr. Carl Taylor, Donna Presley, and I'll let them introduce themselves and let them tell you where you can with Mr. Carl Taylor.
Hey, I'm Carl. Thanks for having me on tonight. I'm from northeast part of Atlanta, between Atlanta and Athens. You can find me on Facebook under my name, Carl Taylor, or Scrollers on YouTube on Facebook. And also I have a website, scrollsawvideo.com, and a YouTube channel, Scrollsaw and Woodworking Videos. Over to Shane.
Hi, everybody. My name is Shane. You can find me on all your social networks under Shane's Hobby Shop. I mainly on Facebook a lot, but it's on my main Facebook page, which is Shane Cole, my name. But you can also find me under Shane's Hobby Shop under Instagram, YouTube, and all the other social medias. On to you,
Right.
Donna.
Hi, Donna Presley, live in Alabama. You can find me on Facebook, YouTube, and I have a webpage, all under Donna's Wooden Art. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Donna. Okay, and as you guys know, I am your host, Lee Nyden, and I run Scroller's Choice magazine. If you guys haven't been over to the website yet to check out the magazine, this is our summer issue, which was the most recent. And right down here on the bottom is the website, which is scrollerschoicemag.wixsite.com/home. You guys go to that website, you can check out all of our back issues. We've got them in PDF and in print. And in the United States, you can order a yearly subscription in print, but outside the United States, you can only order it in PDF. But you can order the PDF yearly subscription in the U.S. So some people have asked me, if I'm in the U.S., do I have to get print? No, that used to be that way, but we switched that. So you guys can order it either way now in the U.S. It's just we can't ship outside the United States. All right, so that's my selfish. And then make sure you guys go over to Midwest Trade Show's website and check out the trade show. It's coming up August and 19th in Dubuque. Make sure you guys go onto their website and check that out. I think it's midwesttradeshow.com or .org. If you guys type it in, you should be able to find it on Google or one of those search engines. But you can also check it out on Facebook, too. They got a page on there, too. You guys can check it out. All right. So moving on to our topic for tonight, designing scroll saw patterns and the programs you use to design them. We're going to send things over to Mr. Carl Taylor. That is the first program that he uses.
Oh, it's up to me.
It's all to you now.
Am I on the screen?
Yeah.
I can't see anything.
Yep, you're on. Let me present you.
Yeah, go ahead and present me, then I'll start talking about this program I use.
All right. 1 second.
Okay, I want to show this program, this free program.
Does anyone remember how to hide the panel?
What's that?
Does anyone remember how to hide the panel?
Oh, not me.
No, I haven't hosted a show in a while, so I couldn't tell you how they do that.
Okay. Well, sorry, everybody. Until I figure out how to hide the panel, we're just going to have to deal with it. So, all right, Carl. I screen shared you, or I presented you, so you should be able to go ahead now.
Okay. I'm going to show you one of the programs that I use. My main program is CorelDRAW. And I would recommend that to anybody that's got, you can buy an old copy of CorelDRAW, $15, $20 off eBay. But I would suggest getting the newer copy. But anyway, that's a lot of money. So if you don't want to spend a lot of money, I'm going to show you this other quick program that's free. So let me come up here and find what I'm looking for. Okay, can y'all see this?
You got to share screen. Hit the green arrow.
I did that. Let me try it. Let me back up and do it again.
For some reason, it didn't work the first time.
Oh, I gotta hit the button that says share, huh?
There you go.
Okay, here we go. Hopefully.
Lord. I just get to infinity now. Woohoo! Freaky.
Okay. Can you see this?
Yeah, now we can see that.
Can you see my pointer right here in the top left-hand corner?
Yes.
Yep, sure can.
This is the website.
SnapTouch.
What's that?
Snap
What is that?
touch.
SnapTouch.
Snapstouch.com. Free program. Now this will get you started to bring this into other programs such as CorelDRAW or Photoshop or whatever you like. Very easy program. It's got if you look down here, you see some of the different effects it will have. Okay, let's go up here. We're gonna go up here to the outline. And this page will come up. Now, I previously picked this other picture out, so I'm going to go to this where my arrow is. Y'all see my arrow? It's under this purple box.
Yep, we see it.
Yes.
Okay, click on the choose file. And I have this picture downloaded, so I'm going to go ahead and click on this picture and hit open. Then I'm going to click upload. And you'll see that's the Capitol up in Washington, correct?
Yes.
I have to ask because it looks like so many of the state capitals. Okay, now the easy part, right here where it says outline, we're just going to click on the outline. You see these blue boxes going. Program is thinking. Takes just a few more seconds. I could sing to y'all while this is uploading, but y'all turn off the computer.
Why, it's waiting. Do we have any questions over on the chat, Donna? On YouTube?
No, I don't see none over there.
Sorry, forgot I was
Yeah.
on mute. No questions.
Okay.
This usually goes faster than this. I don't know why it's slow right now. Probably because we're live.
Yeah, it's not working because it knows we're live.
Da, 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 da. Here we go.
There it goes.
See this?
Cool.
That's pretty cool. Huh? Gave the outline of the Capitol building. So now what you would do is go over to the right and hit the download and save it to your destination. And it'll save it as a file that you can upload to CorelDRAW or Photoshop or whatever you like to use the most. So you can do some more modification. Pretty cool, huh?
That is very cool.
And it's free. Free makes it good. So that's the basics of SnapTouch. SnapStouch, right up here in the top left-hand corner. I would encourage you to try this out. It costs nothing to try it out, so you got nothing to lose. So let's see. I'm going to go over here to the painting, see what happens when I put it up in the painting, just because. Upload. Do. Oh, it wouldn't take it. Anyway, we did in the outline, so it looks pretty good. Any questions?
None yet.
I must have shown that pretty well then, huh?
So what's the next step?
All right.
That's not, the next step is import it to your favorite editing program, and you can make lines longer, shorter, erase, just whatever you like to do. But this is like a starting point.
Okay, so that would get you started, and then you got to take it over to like Corel Draw.
Correct.
Okay,
Easy enough. Back to you, Lee.
very nice.
How do I unshare?
I can. Oh, well, yeah, I can unpresent you. Hold on.
Down at the bottom, you see unshare. Stop sharing.
Okay, I'm off there now.
Yeah, I stopped presenting you. All right, so if you guys want to go check that out, it's Snaps Touch. Or was it .com, Carl?
.com.
We have a question.
Okay.
Take out floaters. Or is that just a start what you can do?
That's just a starting point. You need to take it into your editing program and go a little bit further with it and do your.
Hey, Carl.
Yes.
Stop screen sharing. Hit the green arrow.
Okay, that is it.
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah, but like Carl said, that's a jumping on point. So that's what you would do first, and then you would take it into a program like Corel Draw or GIMP or just one of those. Actually, Carl, now that I think about it, let me do one thing real quick. I'm going to try maybe to take one of my images and do it, and then put it into GIMP and see. Give them an idea. All right, so bear with me one second, everybody, as I get this set up. Questions right
No.
now, Donna?
No question.
No. Okay. So I'm on the page. Gotta change this. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and screen share. So give me 1 second. All right. So screen share, present to everyone. All right, can everyone see my screen?
Yes, I'll see it.
Okay, so I'm gonna go here, choose
Go to
file.
outline.
Now this is
Go to
the,
outline first.
all right, I'll do that. Okay, we'll go here first.
There you go.
Okay, choose file. And this is just a picture I pulled down from Pixabay. So we'll let it do its thing. And it's going to take its time again because we're live. Let's see.
This will import into GIMP or Photoshop.
Once it
or,
finishes it.
What's that other one? That other free
Yeah,
program?
once it's finished.
Inkscape.
Really, the only one I know of is I use GIMP for fretwork patterns.
There you go. It's coming.
There it is. Okay. So then
Now
I
hit
hit
the
the
outline
outline. All right, it's working.
Shane, you can sing to us while this is uploading.
Oh,
Yeah,
trust
this
me,
is,
you don't want me singing.
Taking a minute. So Carl, when you design a pattern, you use CorelDRAW, right?
Yes, CorelDRAW is basically the only one that I use.
Yeah.
And if you go to my website, scrollsoftvideo.com, I have offered around 150 patterns for free, no charge, no money.
Now, have you
Nothing.
ever used GIMP to like compare it to CorelDRAW?
I've played around with GIMP and Inkscape, but I figured I already bought the CorelDRAW program, so I might as well use it.
Okay, so it's done working. Alrighty. I've got GIMP already open. Right. So you guys can see I got GIMP already open. I'm going to drag this picture over from my desktop. And there's the picture that we just did over there. Now, what I normally do, actually, I'll come back to this. I saved a copy of this lighthouse on the computer, so I'm going to start from scratch. I usually design using GIMP. So we'll start with this picture right here, and we'll drag and drop it into GIMP here. And now you can see the lighthouse right there. So what I would first do is I would go over to color tools, and I would go to threshold. Actually, that's not what I'm going to do. Actually, it'd be better if I go to colors instead, and then I go to brightness and contrast, because what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to turn the contrast a little bit on it and the brightness down just a tad. So that should be good right about there. All right, now that it's done, I'll come down here to artistic. Now the problem in GIMP, unlike CorelDRAW, is this screen, you can't really see the whole thing all at once, no matter what you do. Kind of just have to move this around, kind of sort of what it looks like, and it's kind of a lot of guessing, and unfortunately you can't make this any bigger, so you kind of have to play with it. You might have to try a couple of times to get it the way you want it to look. But what I did was I selected the cartoon under the filters. What this is going to do is it's going to sort of draw a cartoon onto the picture for that filter it with a photocopy filter. So now that this is caught up, you guys can see it's added. I'll zoom in a little bit so you guys can see. Hang on one sec. Zoom in. Okay, you guys can see that it's added all this stuff to the picture. You can see all these dots. That's pretty much what it does. It basically draws it. Now, the next thing I want to do is, I'm zooming in too far right now, so I'm going to go to Fit Image in Window. And then the next part is I'm going to go over here to Filters again, Photocopy. And then again, you can't make this window completely as big as it needs to be. It's kind of one problem about GIMP, but if you guys kind of move it around, you can kind of eyeball it. And it's really a lot of trial and error. Sometimes you got to do it a couple of times to get it right because you can't see the whole thing. But you can see that I can adjust the white and the black on it. So basically, right now, what I'm doing is adjusting that. Now, if I hit this radius and I make it real big, you can see it gets real dark. And if I take it all the way down, it starts to take away a little bit of the black. I kind of like it right about there. Okay. You'll see in just a second that it'll actually draw this for me. And
Lee, I got a quick question for you. Is that GIMP or GIMP 2?
it's just GIMP. If you go to their website,
Okay.
like GIMP version 2, but the download's on their website. So whichever the newest download is, you go right to their website. You can download it from there. Okay. And then now that that's done, we can go to fit imaging window. Trying to figure out the right button. There. All right, that's better. So you guys can start to see like a scroll saw pattern, and basically the rest of the process would be you would just have to go in and delete what you don't want. So if you don't want all this background, real simply, you just go over here to Windows, and this will drop down. You can dockable tool or dockable dialogues, tool options. Then you come back up here and hit toolbox. All your stuff you need: paintbrush tool, filler tool, anything and everything you could want, like shape tool for selection. So how I do it when I design a scroll saw pattern, I don't use, because we're erasing this, all this noise back here, I don't use an eraser on this area, not an eraser tool. I use a white paint brush. And so I just come up against the lighthouse and I leave a little bit of pattern. You don't want to erase all of it just yet. But you guys can see that the process kind of sort of takes a while. But one other way to make it go a little faster is if you came over here, free select tool, and basically just follow the outline. And you just click, you left click and then right click. And basically you can select what the area you want to take out. And so you would basically just go along here and go up against this black line, leaving the black line. Don't erase the black line. You can see that that's selected. You can see that there are marching ants are around it. Now if I take my paintbrush tool up in this area, I can delete all of this without deleting anything else because it's just the area that I selected. So if you guys did that and went around the whole lighthouse, you could do that wherever you don't want stuff, and then you don't have to worry about accidentally erasing part of the lighthouse. Now, for some reason, if this side over here, if I tried to click and paintbrush over here, you can see I'm moving, it wouldn't select it. So it's not selected, so that it will wait until I actually the other side. Now, you guys can repeat the process for the other side until you have the background completely erased. I'm just going to go in here for time purposes and just kind of eraser just because constraints. But you guys can see that I just go up to the black line and I leave the black line. I don't go any farther in than that. Now you'll see that I left a little here. Don't worry about that. I'll go in later and clean it up when I'll zoom in real close and clean it up later. But just to show you guys, you can move around, just go all the way down. To make this go up and down, there's a toolbar, or not a toolbar, but a drag bar. So you can go up and down like this, wherever you want to move it. There's also one left and right. Another way to do that is come up here to view, and you can go as close in as you want. Or close. So I'm gonna go to 25. This will show you guys that we erased all this area up here. See that? Missed a little, so I'm just free with. I'm just going around with my mouse and touching it up real quick, but you guys can see that I'm just going up to the edge of the lighthouse tower and leaving it, and then it's just a long process of cleaning up. Before, if you wanted to make it really fast, you could just select the whole thing with the free select tool and erase it that way too. And that's another option. Down here at the bottom, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here, and I don't really necessarily want all this grass. I want the base of the lighthouse. So in order to do that, I'm going to come up here to the rectangular select tool, and I'm going to drag a rectangle across where I want it. And then I'm going to come up here to edit, drop down to cut, and you'll notice that it's black. That's because I have black as the background. The white paintbrush tool, I can switch that just by down here. You can see there's an arrow, switches your foreground and background color. When you're trying to remove the background, you want it on white first, black in the back. And then when you're doing something for the background, you want it white in the back and black in the front. Because what's going to happen now is when I go here and I cut it, now you'll see it's white instead of black. And then all I got to do is deselect that and go back to white on top. And I can go back to removing this. And you guys can see that it's starting to look like a scroll saw pattern now. Do one other thing here real quick. You'll see that for me, I like it when on a scroll saw pattern. I like how to do it like this so that it doesn't touch the edge. Now, what I'll do is once I get this all removed, is I'll go in and move this and crop it a little bit so that it's actually okay. So you guys can see now that it's doesn't have as much noise in it. Now if I go to fit on screen, I can go back up here to the rectangular select tool, the selection around it, and I'm going to leave a little bit of room. And then I'm going to go cut. And I'm going to go to paste as, new image. And now this is on a new image, which is now exactly the size of the lighthouse instead of being whatever size it was before. And you guys can see that as I zoom in, come in here and clean this up. Also, I can make the scale smaller on here, over here in the tool options. And I can make this as big or as small as I want. This also has, if I wanted to do a rectangle, sometimes a rectangle works good if I'm trying to do a squared edge, like on a, for instance. It's kind of cool. Just go in here real carefully and down with your mouse. Just hold the button down and then drag down with your finger. It takes some getting used to at first with a laptop mouse because you got to be kind of careful not to erase stuff you don't need. Like, for instance, up here on the tower, you can see that I kind of sort of already did that. I should fix that later. But you can see if I put a line on it, it's not completely. So, but what I'm doing right now is I'm using this select to clean up this edge. It perfect. off, double click it, it'll select whatever I selected. Now that this is selected, I can go over here back to tool options. I can make the paintbrush whatever size I need, but you can make it big or small at this point because this is already selected. It won't delete your lighthouse. So you can go over here and you could try to delete the lighthouse and it's not going to go anywhere because it's only going to remove brush area that you paint white inside this selected area. So you can see that now this part's removed and it's right up to the edge and it's clean edge. Now down here I can come down this up a little bit. And there's a little bit of a line here, which is like a lip. I'll probably remove this just because I don't think it's needed. So I remove this a little bit. And there. There's that part. Come across. Come down here by the fence. Now when I'm doing this, you guys can see that when I do that select tool right here, the free select, I can move this around pretty much anywhere I want just by just basically like putting dots in, like points, and then wherever you click, you let that select that area, and then you can actually work in that area without erasing the rest of your pattern. Now, if I wanted to, I could come up. I'm going to show you guys what not to do. For some reason you wanted to reverse what you've selected. I don't know why you would need to, but say you wanted to work in the other area that you're working in and not the area you're selected. Up here, select, invert. That if I tried to delete something with this paintbrush tool, it's not going to do it inside this original section. It's actually going to erase the lighthouse. So unless you were trying to do something over here and work in this area to do something. So I'm going to go back to, and if you do that by mistake, you hit Control. Anytime you make a mistake in GIMP, you hit Control Z to undo it. And then basically I come over here to select it again, hit invert, and it'll go back to selecting that, just that section there, and I want to erase the rest of the lighthouse. Now, before moving on, you want to come up here to select and then hit none, and then it'll unselect that. Now you guys can see, as I scroll up here, we've pretty much, there's some area that we have to clean up yet, but you can see that down here where we were working, it's nice and clean on the clean edge. And then that one line was up here where it's removed. I didn't get all of it, so I could come back in and clean that up. But I'm going to go over here and I'll work on this side now. See that there's some more stuff on this side that we got to clean up. So I'm just going to come here and click the points on the edge. And this might not be perfect the first try, but I'm trying to go as fast as I can without erasing too much of everything. But select that under that. I'm going to come all the way up to the top part of the tower, and then I'm going to work my way down. And I'll just keep clicking as I'm coming down. And as I'm coming down, for right now, we'll leave this part in. This part, so I'm going to leave that part in for right now. Right about where I originally selected it. The other part, you just double click. You have to find the first point that we're put in. You have to connect your final point with the first you need. select that. I can take and clean up this
Lee, your voice is breaking up.
area. For it is if for some reason you're scrolling up and you see that you forgot to delete a section over here and you see there's some kind of junk over here, you can clean up more of that background too, so that you don't have any kind of noise in the background that you don't want. Now you can see
Lee,
it.
I got another question.
Sure.
Donald says they saw a post the other day where someone was using Wonder Paper to print their patterns on. Has any of y'all used Wonder Paper?
Okay.
Not me.
Um,
I haven't.
I've never used Wonder Paper. I know about it. Basically, it's like a sticker, and you stick it on. I've never used it myself, but I've heard about it. So I don't know what their general question is about it. All right. What's their question, Donna? They just want to know about Wonder Paper? Or?
Yeah, well, has anyone used this Wonder Paper?
Myself, yeah. At all.
I guess I'm too old fashioned. I like regular printable paper and 3M spray glue.
Yeah, I use 3M myself. That's what I use. But you guys can see that now this pattern is more cleaned up. And basically that's just like the whole thing as you go in and you clean it up, clean it up, clean it up. Now you can understand why it takes time to make scroll saw patterns. Because if you're the more detailed they are, the more work it is cleaning them up. But you guys can see that this is starting to look like a scroll saw pattern. And then basically you got to make decisions down here at the base, like what you want to keep and what you don't want to keep. So me personally, now this is a question of how, this here would be a question of how much detail you want to leave on the tower. Now, if you want something simpler, you know, and you're more of an introductory scroller, you don't want to cut all this, you can come in here and start deleting this. Now, the problem is if you delete too much of this, I'm going to just select a little bit of it to show you guys in 1 second. Just a bunch of it, the area, it'll start to look kind of funky without it. Let me show you. Oops. Zoomed in a little too far. But you guys can see it looks kind of undetailed now. So if you want a really basic, you know, more of an outline kind of pattern where you don't have a lot of detail, then you'd want to go in there and clean up the detail. Now, if you want something more advanced, you don't want to go in there and delete all the detail. Oh. Alright. So you guys can see now the detail. Well, basically what I would do is I would go in here and I would go to filter. Trying to find the right one. Cartoon. Yeah, that's it. Cubism. Bear with me just a sec. This is try something and see with it at this point because I want to see if this will work. If not, I'll show you guys the way to do it. But nope, that doesn't work. Okay.
Jeff has a question.
Go ahead,
Okay.
Don.
How many undos can you do in GIMP?
You can, as far as I know, you can do like up to 5, 6, or something like that. I haven't tried to do it that many times. After it stops doing whatever it's doing and it's thinking, to do an undo for each F, just to show you. But basically, if you hit Control Z as many times as you hit it, and I have never actually sat there and counted it to see how many times, but I don't know what it's doing right now. It's thinking, so I'll give it a minute. But another option for you guys is if you came down here and you saw that this is so detailed, and you're like, well, I don't want it that detailed. You can actually, well, let's just wait a second, it's working. You could actually trim the base as well if you so chose. Less detailed. If you guys, so you could trim it right about there. So if you guys wanted to, oops, you could trim it here too. That's an option. See, that would be a little bit easier option too. If you guys wanted to trim it and then use that as the base for it. Clean it up. Now let's do, all right, for Jeff. Jeff, this is for you. You asked me about the undo. Let's do something stupid like, I don't know, just draw it on it just for fun. Tool. There. All right, now if you hit Control Z, off, 2 off, 3 off, 4 off, 5 off, 6 off, 7 off, 8 off, 9 off, 10 off, 12 off. So it's like every one of my, so I think the answer would be every pen stroke you make with the paintbrush tool, if you on-click, so for instance on the H, I unclicked, then I unclicked, then I unclicked. For every one you unclick, it'll go back. So let's see, I went back 3. So I hope that answers his question. All right. Are there any more questions out there, Donna?
No.
New? Now that I'm looking at this, I think that it's kind of oddly on its base. So what I might do is I might select this thing, the tower, and then I can take it. I'm going to select this part. I don't like how it's sitting on the base, so I'm going to take this part and I'm going to crop it. Don't worry. Guys, see how this is empty now? If you take the paintbrush tool or and you hit the color, it'll fill it in. Don't unselect it, because what you want to do is you want to come up to paste. Back into, now you can go deselect, or to select, you go to none. And the reason it's still selected after you hit none, it's because in here, it'll actually, because we cropped it and pasted it, it's a floating selection right now, so you got to go over here to layers. In order to pull that up, you got dockable dockable dialogues, and then you go down to layers, which is at the top. And this is open here, and then you double click on it, and you just name it something, whatever you want to name it. I just named it P for now, so you just type that and then double click out of it, and it'll deselect the layer, and then I can move this on this section here.
Lee, I'm a little confused about what you're doing right now.
Well, I deselected it because I didn't think it was centered enough. So now I'll go up to layer. Okay, so now I got it where I can go up to layer. Now I go to an image. And now this is one image again. Carl, you see that I moved it over a tad? Space. It was all the way over here. Let me show you. It was right here where this yellow is. Moved it over. Does that answer your question, Carl?
Not really.
No. Basically, I didn't like the way it looked, so I moved it over some.
You moved the whole lighthouse over, or just parts of it?
Not the whole lighthouse. I moved the top tower part, and I left the base where it was. So I just moved the tower over. So let me show you. Undo, 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 undo. Okay, now it's 2 layers again. So watch. I can take this, and I can move it wherever I want. Okay. Now I can reattach it right there to the tower. I'm actually going to bring it over just a little more. There. Right there. And then I want to go up here to image. And now it's one image again. And then, nope. You guys can see there's still detail here that I have to clean up. Or I zoomed it in, but there's still detail here I have to clean up, and I have to go in here and clean it up. But you guys can see that that's basically the process for getting it started in GIMP. You guys can kind of now know how to copy and paste and crop. You can take one image, part of it, work with it, paste it into another image, and use different parts of that image. I mean, there's all sorts of crazy things you can do in GIMP. It's a lot of fun. It's a free program, so I highly recommend that you guys check it out. It's easy to use for user friendliness as Corel Draw or some of those other programs that you pay for. But it is a free program, so you can kind of get what you pay for. But after you use it for a while, you'll be able to with it after you practice. So it's not something you guys can learn overnight. You probably won't learn it in a week or two. It's going to take you probably maybe a year, maybe a month to a year to get it the way you really want it, practice-wise. And, you know, there's some stuff you can do that's simpler and some stuff you can do that's more detailed. For instance, this lighthouse is a little more detailed. It's not super detailed, but it's more detailed than, say, like a Christmas ornament. Actually, since I said that, I'll show you guys real quick. It's going on 9:24, but bear with me. I'll show you really quick. In GIMP, one other thing is, if you want to save this, you can go up here to File, and then you can choose Down here is a drop-down box. You can select down here. It'll show you all the different extensions. Me, personally, I usually save them as JPEGs. So basically, I'll do...
Lee, how easy is it to change the lines to red?
What's that?
Easy is it to change the black lines to red?
To red?
Yes.
Hang on. Let me try that. You can go in here and you could play with the color of it. Let's see real quick how I would do that. The best way that I would do that, a copy. I'm going to show you how to change the color of it. So what I'm going to do is duplicate the layer. Come up here, hit. Now you've got two layers. So basically, I would take this first layer, which is the one we're working on, which is black and white. I'm going to leave that one alone. Also in GIMP, you'll see, if you guys are familiar with like Photoshop or any of those other ones, I don't want to do that. You'll see here, this actually, if you unclick it, it'll take away the layer. If you click it, it'll come back. And then next to that, there's a little box. You can click that box, it'll lock it, so you can't do anything to it. Okay, so layer invisible for right now. Now this layer here, I want to put a red. To answer his question, I think you can do something like this. If you really wanted to. Once you were all said and done, you could come in here and you could make it red. You could play with it, make all the lines red. But that's something you do like once the pattern's cleaned up. And right now it's kind of not cleaned up to the point where you can do that yet. But you can get the general idea. And see, I could come in here and I could come in here really close, and I could, or it's red. So you could go like red, red, red. And it would be easier to do if you come up here to the fuzzy select tool and you click. Just use it. Okay. Fuzzy select tool and you click now. I need to know what it's selected. So I'm going to zoom out. Now you see that, you can see it where it's selected pretty much everything. So I want to change that. So what I'll do is go to my tool options for this fuzzy select tool, and I can change the threshold. It'll select more. And you can change it. Now, up here, select. Now you can see I can paint in whatever color I want. No, that section's not selected. But any section that's selected, fuzzy tool that I just talked about, you can go in and make it whatever color you want. Now you'll notice that some of it's selected and some of it's not. If that happens and you want to select something, and you come up here to the magic wand tool, and you just go, well, it's supposed to let you, there. Okay, so basically if it's already selected, like it was, you have to just click out and unselect it. Or you come up here to select, and then go none. Now, this area here wasn't selected, so I want to click it. Okay, and I want to hold down Shift when I'm working in here, and it'll let me select multiple areas. And then if you just hit the rest of the tower, you'll notice when I cut this, hold on 1 second. I have to go back to select, invert, and I'll be able to, now you see that this white area in here, that part of the windows in there, as before it was just solid red. Just play with it as you're working. You can, mess around with it, change the threshold over here on the tool options, and as you changes what it selects and what it doesn't select, and you basically can spitball it, eyeball it. But to answer his question, the best way to make it go red is to select it like I showed you guys. And then you'll see that this part of the tower is me. So again, this is basically how you do it. But sometimes you'll have parts that, so if that happens, you'll just come over here to the magic wand tool again, and you'll just go click out. You'll go back to select none. Then you'll go to Shift with your finger, and then click as you holding down Shift, and it'll select all that area. Then you go select, invert, and should let you know select it. One other thing you could do before you do that, before you select, now that I see there, so now I did that. I go up to none, then I go back here to tower, so it selects outside the tower. Now I'll hit Shift to this area and click, and what that I'll show you in a second. Now you come back up here to invert, go up to select, invert, go back to the paintbrush tool, and now you'll notice that it lets you paint inside the tower without going outside the tower. That's why I selected outside the tower. And if you do that, like down here, this area is not cooperating. So we'll get to that. But you guys get the general idea of how to make it red. So basically, you would come down here and you could select anything that wants to cooperate. You can come back to these other areas in a minute that don't want to, but you can come down here and you can paint this all red if you wanted to. So does that, I think that should answer his question really easily once you select everything. See, you got some sections that won't cooperate, so you have to go through and mess around with the selection tool and the invert. But you guys can see that it'll let you make it red. So what I'm going to do is, I don't want this layer, so I'm going to delete this layer, and that was the other layer that I saved. The reason I didn't duplicate layers is because while I was working on the other layer, this layer didn't have any changes to it. So I can save this. I'll save it again just to be sure. So that's kind of gets you the general idea for getting started in GIMP. I know we're over on time, but I'll show you guys really quickly just a simple idea for doing a Christmas pattern or something like that. So basically, we've got this, so I'm going to zoom in real quick. All right, so now that we're zoomed in, what we're going to do is say we want a round Christmas ornament. So up here at the top, there's a round tool. Basically, drag that out to whatever size you want, and you can make it bigger or smaller. And then, oops, you can make it bigger or smaller, however you want. And now that you have this open, you just go down here into this layer and make this button right here, make a new layer. Go up here to select, or I'm sorry, edit. Then you go to stroke selection. Then you, nope, that's a little too big.
Hey, Lee,
Yeah.
we only see you. You're not showing the program.
Okay, hold on 1 second. 1 second. I think somehow I stopped screen sharing. All right, hold on, guys. Fun. 1 second. All right. Let me try this one more time. All right. Oops. Cooperate. Okay. There we go. All right, let's try this one more time. Can you guys see this?
Yes.
Okay. So you're gonna go over here to a new image.
Jeff said yes, it did. Thanks.
Okay. Now you're gonna go over here to up top where you got your circle tool, and you're gonna draw a circle. You can make it as big as you want, little as you want. Now that that's there, see how it's selected? Well, you want to go and before you click out of it, you want to hit new layer, which is this little icon right here. And what that does is it makes it so this goes onto an actual layer. Now you'll go to stroke selection, go to 1, and now you go to deselect, and try that again because that was not quite big enough for a selection. Okay, let's go to 3, just so we can see it. Get a little better now. Okay. This. Okay, hold on. Bear with me 1 second. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the selection for the stroke size bigger. So I'm going to make it black so it stands out really good. All right, so stroke selection, now it's on 3. So let's make it 6. All right, so that's a little better. You guys can see it now. All right, zoom in so you guys can see it. Now this gives you the shape of a general circle Christmas ornament. Now for some reason, if you wanted to add, oh, I don't know, clip art or something, really quickly, let's just do something. Let's Santa clip art. Just see if it's got something here. If not, I can look on my, okay, well, they don't have anything, so I'll look on my computer. So open, I got some clip art saved on here, so let me go to my folder. Go to add sort to program. Okay. Yeah, just a little. Okay, so you guys can see, this will give you guys an idea. This is actually one I did before. All right, so this is the general and basic idea. So you got a circle, and then you add clip art, okay? So you would add this deer. So basically that's how I made this, is I made a circle, and then I basically added the deer, and I added the text for Merry Christmas. So you guys can get the general idea. That's how that was made. Now let me see if I've got the actual pattern. Yes, I do. So let me pull that up. So I'm gonna do this a little differently. So since I already have this saved on my computer, which I forgot completely about, I'll just make this bigger and show you guys kind of an idea on how to make it might look better. All right. So you start with a circle, like I just showed you guys with the circle tool. And basically you would bring in clip art of the deer next. You basically can resize him and put him in here. I would suggest something that's just like a silhouette, so you can see like the deer is just a silhouette. And then if you want to add text, you come down here. It's the text tool, which is the A here, down here. Here, you drag the box and you can type the text in here. To change the font style, you just can select over here. Now you can see I got some special scroll saw fonts in here because I'm a scroller and I've got scroll saw fonts saved on the computer. Basically that's exactly what I did. I just typed in Merry Christmas. I put one at the top and I put one down at the bottom. And then when I was done, sometimes doesn't work quite right for scrolling. So what you got to do is you got to flatten the image so the text is flattened. And basically what the text will look like is, hold on one sec. Basically the text will look something like that when you first have it, and it won't be broken. So you can't cut it. So what you have to do is come through with a black tool. So you would come down here and you would go to black, select black, come in with a paintbrush tool. And this is once it's flattened. Now if you try to do this while the layer is still text, it won't let you. You'll find a tool and you come in here and you, this is kind of not, it's kind of rough because I'm doing it really fast to show you guys. But you guys can see, you just come in here and you clean up the tool really nicely. You can also use the select here to make it more clean. So you can come up here, you can see that more clean. And you just gotta play with it until you get it. Basically, that's how you make a Christmas ornament. Very simple round one. I mean, you can make a square one on here because it's got square star tools, all sorts of fun stuff. So when you guys get into GIMP, you can play with it and decide for yourselves what you want to do. But that's basically, I just wanted to show you how to get started on like a simple ornament. So I know we're over on time. Thank you guys for, I see Shane dropped off, but
He had to go help.
I want to
Shelley.
thank. Okay, I want to thank Shane for being on, Carl Taylor for being on, Miss Donna Presley for being on, everybody in the YouTube watch page asking questions. Thank you guys very much. We'll see you guys next week.